Joey Reese and Billy Bouchard.
So Patreon people, here we are. You guys, we are, in fact, I don't even know if this whole thing might be just Patreon. This might just be for patrons, this 2-hour portion. This might not even go freebie. So that last portion that I just said, hey, freebie people, they might not even hear that because we have to get up to speed on our Patreon subscribers. I think we owe them 3 hours. So I think we're about 3 hours.
You know what? There's still people subscribing. Like
That's
people
awesome.
all the time. Do you get those alerts?
I don't.
We're supposed to read their names online, and I keep forgetting.
Yeah, we'll do it next one. I don't think we're prepared for today.
No.
But holy smoke, I don't want to diminish anything because everything that you've gone through is 10 times worse than what I've gone through.
No, it's not.
And when we talk about all that stuff and schedules and things like that, for me, you guys, another reason we haven't been able to get together is obviously Reese lost his mother, bought a new house, got a new job in there, all these different things that were going on. Got a new house, moved, all of that. For me, on the other end, it's something that I don't like to talk about because there could always be consequences in the future. But one of the things with me is
Joe, are you doing it?
I don't know. Should I?
Oh man, I can always edit it out. Oh man,
I'll try and dance around it.
Joe.
I'll try and dance around it. So, oh man,
dude,
if you're questioning whether I should, I was fully gonna maybe do it, but if you're questioning me, I don't think I should then.
Also, I love the joke about you being a roofer. I love talking about your roofing and having to use your pneumatic air gun sometimes for the roofing.
So, all right. So I'm going to pull back then. But one of the reasons up here that it's been crazy is we had a school shooting. And I know school shootings, unfortunately, have become the norm all across the country.
These do affect roofers.
They do affect roofers.
A lot.
A lot. And so up here in Michigan, there's a city about 40 minutes north of where I live in Royal Oak. It's called Oxford. And there was a school shooting in Oxford. And where I am right now in my girlfriend's house, we're in a city called Ortonville. And Ortonville is about 2 miles from Oxford.
Jeepers.
Yeah, so there was a shooting. And this has become commonplace all over the country, unfortunately. And what the crazy thing is whenever you hear of a school shooting in Florida or in Colorado or in Texas, you think of your own kids at your school and you think of what would happen if that happened at your school. You kind of go over those things with those kids and you kind of move on with life because life doesn't really change and school policy and procedure doesn't really change. And so you just kind of go on with it. And you just kind of think, oh, I hope the next one isn't closer. I hope the next one isn't at my school. Well, this one hit so close to home. And me being a roofer and all, I do a lot of times I work with the schools. And in my job.
You're a school resource roofer.
I'm a school resource roofer is my
Should we
title.
tell people about your title as a roofer? School resource roofer.
I'm a school resource roofer for a major roofing company.
So if the kids at the school get out of line, need some roofing, or if they need to talk to a roofer or just need a good example of what a decent human being is, you are
in
that
the roofing
roofer.
industry. Yes.
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm that roofer. So because of this school shooting, my job over the last month has gone bananas and things that I never thought of when looking at school shootings or mass shootings in other states and away from my backyard, things that never come into play. So, for instance, when I think of Parkland, I think of the Parkland shooting, the families at Parkland that had to endure that stuff, and what Parkland itself does to come back, Columbine, what the town of Littleton has to do to come back from that major tragedy. The thing that has never hit me until we had this shooting in Oxford is these surrounding communities and the stress and the workload that puts on surrounding communities, their roofing agencies, their school systems, all of that stuff. And so for me, even you had started, hey, you were texting me, Joe, I want to podcast. I want to get this together.
Yeah.
I want to kind of let it be a little bit cathartic and start to move on and get back to a sense of normalcy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my work schedule got so crazy because of the school shooting and the things that I was involved in, and I was busy constantly. I was working, 7 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, and then 3 in the afternoon till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. One night I went home at, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and around 8 o'clock at night, I get a call and I have to go roof from 8 o'clock to 2 in the morning. And so
you want to talk about that?
The 8 o'clock to 2 in the morning. Oh, that
roofing you had to do then?
That was another thing, but
we'll come back to that one.
Yeah.
You're busy.
Yeah. So you guys,
and it's heavy.
Yeah, it is. And Reese, I appreciate the stopping me, but in all honesty, so you guys, I'm a police officer. So I'm a police officer, and I am the school officer for the school system that I work for. I did like 2 years at a huge urban police department, and then I transferred out. Well, I didn't transfer. I left there, and I was hired by my hometown town. Well, you can cut that out because people know where I grew up. So I worked for a big urban department, and then I transferred to a smaller department. Yeah, Detroit.
Do we have to say that?
What's that?
No, Livonia. People might think it's Livonia if we don't.
Yeah. Well,
they'd be like, "What's the biggest city in Michigan?"
Detroit.
Livonia?
No, yeah, it'd be Detroit, and then it'd probably be Grand Rapids, and then like Warren.
Warren?
So,
okay.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys, I worked for a big urban department and then moved to a smaller department. So the smaller department that I work for, I'm the school resource officer for that department. So because of the school shooting, safety, all of these different things have gone crazy. And so when I've always heard of these incidents that happen in other states, I didn't think about neighboring communities. You literally just think of that city and that school and the kids that go to that school. You don't think I haven't thought about the junior high down the street, or the elementary schools, or the high school, 2 cities over, and all the stuff that comes out. And so what happens is usually after this school shooting occurs, days for weeks, you guys, after, because kids' brains aren't fully formed, they have no idea what they're doing. And so you have kids that don't want to go to school, so they call in false threats. So law enforcement agencies all over the area are following up on threats because some freshman, calls the school and says, "Hey, I heard a rumor that such and such school is going to be next." So then they shut down that school system. They don't have to go to school. So then some kid in the next city goes, "Oh, they did that there." And then what happens is they don't realize that all this stuff gets followed up on and they get prosecuted. And that still doesn't deter kids. Kids still continue to call in fake shootings, still continue to put stuff out on social media, all sorts of just crazy, horrific things.
Yeah.
And so so with my job, I've had to vet that stuff. A parent will send me a meme or a text or something like that, and then we have to search it out, figure who originated it, figure out if there's any validity to it, all of that stuff. So go ahead.
You at the major metropolitan roofing industry
Yes.
were a detective,
No.
correct?
No.
But
just-
now you operate as one.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. So because of my position as a school resource officer, I'm basically, they basically say like I'm the junior detective. So
Mhm.
anything that happens with juvenile students within the city that I live in, all those cases come
You have to
my
follow
desk.
up on all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep. So all of that. So if a kid shoplifts, it comes to me. If a kid does an online threat, it comes to me. All of that. I put out on our Facebook on the Diabolical Discussion, I put it out last week that me and you were ready to record and we were all set and we were ready to go.
Mhm.
And while we were recording, we were having some technical difficulties and we're trying to get that figured out. And
I think we did.
Yeah, I think we started.
We defeated Satan, guys. I don't know if you know that. We were talking about defeating Satanism, but today Joe and I defeated Satan.
Yeah, the big one. We won a round. And so we start recording. I got a phone call from work and I declined it because we were recording. I get another call immediately right after, decline it. Then I start getting texts from people at work. So I'm like, all right, Reese, something's up. So I call into work and somebody in our school community had taken their own life. So I had to tell you, hey, I can't do this. I got to go. I got to deal with this situation that's going on.
Yeah.
So that was the last time we tried to record is that was all happening. And so these are just the things. And I mean, I guess there's a guilt. I want to say that there's a guilt like on my end for our listeners that, especially our Patreons. So you guys pay a fee to get content. And I'm just wired to give you what you want. But I also want you guys to understand that we're not trying to just take your money and not provide you with content. We're going to catch up on all of it. We promise we will. It's just these huge things have been happening. And so it's tough to put these out on social media. It's tough to email everybody or send something out to everyone who deals with this. But hopefully in this first, hour of us coming back and talking, you can just kind of see, obviously Reese has been preoccupied. I've been preoccupied by all this craziness as well. Again, nothing to the level of Reese. Mine's just work related and I deal with it. That's just what I deal with. It's a normal day at work for me, but
it's not a competition, Joe.
Right. Cause you win
no,
as far as stress goes.
Well, thanks, but it's not.
You got a fruit basket on your way for winning that competition.
No.
So you guys, that just brings you up to speed. This is the last time I'm going to talk about me being a police officer. I'm going to go back to being a roofer. So freebie people are still going to hear me being a roofer, but that's just kind of it.
Good.
I don't talk about being a police officer on here just because of, I don't know, the way people think about it. It's not a profession that people like anymore. Sometimes it causes more grief than it, it's weird, you guys. So I don't like to talk about it. It is weird. I love being a police officer. I'm proud to be a police officer. I love it. But just the world that we live in right now, it's weird. People assume things about you just because you put on that uniform. It's love or hate. So you have people that are like, oh, thank you for doing what you do. And then you have people that are like, you're a racist. You wake up every day and all you want to do is hurt people, and you do this and you do that. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. And so I don't ever like to get, especially people who I don't know. I don't talk about my job with people that I don't know. I rarely talk about my job with family and friends. They just kind of know to not chit chat with me about it. But close people and close family members, I'll talk about it. I just gotta know like where the person's coming from and what their end game is to their questions. Because a lot of times people are like, oh, you're a cop. And if you're like, yep, I'm a cop, then your next half hour is them telling you every horrible traffic stop that they've ever been on, how every cop they ever talked to was an a-hole, how they got a cop for going 1 mile an hour over and they weren't, so it's all that nonsense that I don't want to deal with because it's nonsense. So I don't engage in conversation with people who I don't really know about my occupation. So that's why I've always kind of kept it quiet on here, things of that nature. So I just keep it quiet.
Joe, I did argue early on. I was like, you should talk about this. You have a very good argument not to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to, number one. Like it is like if you have like one black kid in your school and you're just like, so what's it like what tell me about breakdancing. What is that? Hey, what do you think about that time that do you remember that one time that like Michael Jackson said he was talking shit about Jermaine? Do you remember that? What is your opinion? Like
Right.
Like that person did not get elected to represent all of black people.
Yeah.
Same with you, man. Like you're not in charge of all cops and all their behaviors, and that's not fair. However, you are like the only police officer I know as a friend, and to me, it goes far. Like it matters to me because like, I'm pretty far left politically, and it's easy to just be like, dude, what is wrong with the police system? Like, why do they keep shooting black people? I think things like this. Then I know Joe, and I'm like, shut up. Like, just shut up. This is not, like, this is not how it is. Like, this is, like, this hits the media where you're just like, oh, police do this, police do this. It used to be different, like police, the public persona of police was that they were to help people. And I think that has changed in culture, and you feel that baggage, like you're feeling the weight of that. But I just want to say to our listeners, like, Joe, you've heard him on here. I know Joe. He's a good guy. Like, you can no longer just be like cops are dicks or all police officers are bad. Like, this person. Joe is a good guy. He cares about you. He helps kids. His job is working at a high school helping kids. That's his job. Like,
and here's the thing. Like, I've heard people say this type of thing before, where it's people will say you're one of the good ones, and I hate hearing that because I'm not one of the good ones. I'm a normal police officer who does my job, and I work in an entire department with 80 other officers that are just like me. Yeah. And I worked at a huge metropolitan police department with amazing people from all different backgrounds, race, religion, color, whatever, that were amazing people. And I've literally worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of police officers. And do we have like idiot guys just like insurance? In insurance, there's idiot guys. In the teaching systems, there's moron teachers. Are there people who are just they're just dumb? Yeah, there are. But are there people who are like truly like bad apples and walk into a police department like, I want to be a cop because I was bullied as a kid and now I want to bully everyone who ever bullied me? Like, that doesn't happen. Like, it doesn't happen. I've never met those people. I've never worked with those people. I don't know anyone who wakes up and says, hey, today's a great day. I'm going to hurt minorities.
They don't exist.
It doesn't happen. Like, unfortunately, in law enforcement, we're, the cliche, we're the thin blue line between good and evil. And a lot of times when we're being called to a situation, where we have no clue what we're getting into. A neighbor called because a fight was happening on a front lawn, or they're hearing screaming in a house. We're walking into a house. First, we didn't go there. We got called there. So somebody thought that was a big enough situation to warrant police, arriving. And then, like, once we get there, we don't know layouts of the house. We don't know who's there. We don't know medical backgrounds of people. We don't know mental behavior of people. We don't know the psychology behind people. We don't know the family dynamic of people that are going on. We don't know the socioeconomic issues of people that are going on. We don't know any of that. We're walking into it, and we get a 30-second snapshot of what could be this person's worst day of their life. And we get 30 seconds of it. And within those 30 seconds, sometimes things happen where we have fractions of a second to make a decision as to what we're going to do. And protecting people, protecting, the lives of others, the lives of ourselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes those decisions are made. We could go off the air. I can tell you, when it comes to things in the news, I'll just say it, like what happened in like Minnesota, like kneeling on someone's neck. That was absolutely god awful. That was terrible. And that officer deserves everything that he gets. Like that was ridiculous just from a human standpoint. Other things that happen in the news, there's tons of information that has to be processed through. And what's unfortunate is, in this day and age, there's an issue that will hit the media, and before all the facts are out, everybody has weighed in, and the court of public opinion has given their sentence. And unfortunately, there's laws, there's rules, there's procedure, there's all sorts of stuff that goes into place where law enforcement in the United States of America are allowed to do their job to be able to protect others and get protections as a law enforcement officer. So those are all those things that it really does suck. Like it really does suck. And it makes it where you don't want to hang out with people who aren't cops, because you don't want to hang out with people that, don't understand what you go through on a normal. I really force myself to hang out with people who aren't cops. I really force myself to keep those friends that are outside of my work family, because I don't want to just have the mindset of other cops. I want to be able to talk to other people. I want to be able to hang out with other people and not talk shop. But it's hard. It's definitely hard. Now since I do work in a school system, a lot of public school systems are very left, very democratic, very liberal in the teachers and the teachings that go on within the school system, and sometimes teachers get into it with me about just certain things. I had a teacher tell me that she thought it was absolutely stupid. Listen to this. You guys, this is an absolutely true story. I am not embellishing for humor purposes or to make this person seem even dumber than what you're about to hear. This is all truth. I had a conversation with a teacher that I like, and we are still friends to this day because we have these types of conversations. And they told me that they thought it was absolutely absurd that in 2020, when we had this conversation, that in 2020, that cops were allowed to have guns. And she doesn't think that anyone should have a gun. She thinks guns are awful. Guns only hurt people. And she thinks no one should have a gun. To which my reply was, well, the toothpaste is already out of the tube. This would have been a great idea 150 years ago, 200 years ago. But that's not what it is. And there's guns out there. And so because there's guns out there, law enforcement needs guns to fight bad guys. Right. So if something is happening to you, you are being assaulted by someone with a deadly weapon, we need to be able to counter that. You can't counter a knife with a piece of bubble gum. You can't, counter bullets with a handshake or something like that. It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
So she went on to tell me that she thinks it's absolutely ridiculous that even police officers carry guns. While I'm explaining this to her, she then goes on to tell me that she herself is contemplating buying an AK-47 because her kickboxing instructor told her that she should have one in case the police ever try to take her house away.
Really?
This is all 1,000% true, word for word, what she said.
She at least has a bachelor's degree.
Yep, she is a teacher. She's a teacher in.
How do you get that far and think that, like, constitutionally the police have the right to take your house?
Yep. So that's where our conversation turned. And I was like, I go, what are you talking about?
She went to Ohio State.
I go, when is the police? I mean, that's why we declared ourselves, sovereign from England. Isn't that the whole taxation without representation? The redcoats were like coming into our homes and taking it and booting us so that they had a place to sleep, things like that. So I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, when can the police come in and take your house? Oh, they do it all the time. When?
What?
Tell me one time.
When?
And I'm like, are you talking about like having property seized because you're a drug kingpin or your property was used in the committing of a major crime?
Uh-huh.
I was like, that's called forfeiture laws. That's pretty cut and dry. But you as
it is very rare.
Yeah, but you as a teacher, when are the police just going to knock on your door and you and your husband open the door after eating dinner one night and the cops just come in and say, this is ours now? The cops.
There's so many holes in this. How far left am I to you, Joe? Like on a scale of leftist?
So if we're looking at a ruler, and what, like, so 6 would be the middle. And so you have like
12 is as far right as you go,
or far right as you could possibly go.
And left is 0.
Yeah, and left is like, yeah. I mean, I think, are you talking in comparison to this lady, or you're just interested in where I would put you?
Yeah, where do you put me?
I put you like, I put you slightly left of Democratic. So I think looking at the ruler, I think you're going to be like a 4. I think you're like a 4 over there.
I have fooled you.
Because
I'm closer to 2 probably.
Well,
like I want Bernie Sanders as president. I want free healthcare and free education.
And so like those are the types of things that for me, I think I straddle the line. So I think I straddle the line. Like in my mind, if you're looking at the ruler, there's Democrat, Republican that sit right next to each other, that the fence is between them.
Okay.
And then you go to the left, and that's where you get over into liberal. And then you go to the right and you get into extreme conservative and extreme, right wing.
Okay.
I really don't think Democrats and Republicans are all that far off from each other. No. They just kind of look at things from different angles. It's the extreme groups that take it, obviously, to the extreme.
But
so
I
with
think
you,
there's just
like with you and your thinking, I think on a couple of those issues, like, yes, you're left thinking in that. Like, you want universal health care. You want that stuff. But, like, left to me, like, you don't want communism. Like, you don't want.
Let me explain this. I do want communism. I just don't want totalitarianism. I think communism as a economic system is what Jesus and the apostles in Acts lived. So sharing. But it has to be voluntary. So what you're saying, like, I don't want it to be forced. I think
so it
that
can't be governmental. It can't be governmental.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Japuza. So take Japuza. Japuza did communal living.
Right.
So if you want to take communism and community, the commune of that community, all for one for all. Chapuza made it work voluntarily within the state regulations and rules of the state of Illinois within the United States of America.
Yeah, it can only be voluntary. And seriously, for it to work, the Holy Spirit has to be constantly working on your heart, because I think mankind by default is not altruistic. We seek our own interests.
And
we
that
do
right
what
there
is
why
good
I
for
don't
us.
think you're a 2, because I think you look at it for what it is, and your logic brings you back towards the center by saying this would be a great thing in concept if it can be done right, but your logic states that, it probably can't be done right, therefore we can't do it. But then there are those people that are a 2 and a 1 that are like, defund the police. We don't need police anymore.
I don't think they think it through.
Exactly. So, like, that's that type of thinking. And
like your friend. Yeah, she's like, just get rid of guns, but like, does not at all know.
She wants the baddest
to
gun
protect
on the planet.
her from the police.
Right.
So
the only reason she took that advice is from her kickboxing instructor,
which is a made up sport. Listen,
which is a made up
here's a
profession.
fact. So, yeah, exactly. It's what Lloyd Dobbs wants to do in not Better Off Dead. What's the movie where he holds up the radio? Say anything.
Say anything.
Listen, though, here's a fact. The biggest army on earth is China. They have, I think, 100 million people in their army. Next biggest is North Korea, who may have like 10 million. Both of them have, most of their armaments are from the 1950s, especially North Korea. If there was a war between our country and either one of those, there'd be like, I don't know if you've heard stories about World War II with the Soviets. They would give one guy an extra thing of ammo, and he'd follow around the guy with the gun. So when that guy died, he could pick it up and shoot. That's what a war would be like, if it was conventional, if there were no nuclear weapons. But the United States has the third largest army in the world. And this is we're not at war. We have not had a draft. If you look at statistics of when the army gets larger, when we have a draft, like during world wars, or during the War of 1812, our army goes way up. We become the largest army on the planet normally because of this. Or during Vietnam, we're close to being as big as China, or we're bigger than Russia because we start to do conscription. We have a draft. So that being said, this is our peacetime army. Even though we've been in this war for 20-something years, we've been in Afghanistan and Iraq, which we're still there. Yeah. We have not had a draft. However, our army is we are out-armoring. Just in terms of numbers of armaments, of guns, the largest army in the world, China, by, I think, 10. We have 10 times as many weapons in our military. They have 3 aircraft carriers, and I think we have close to 100 aircraft carriers. We have helicopter carriers. We have, sub-aircraft carriers that carry these vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. We, in a conventional war, we would smother every army on the planet. In peacetime, we're not at war. We're not having a draft. We would destroy every country on the planet. So, that being said, the population of the United States has 3 times as many guns as our military. There's no chance any country could come into our country and take over. There's no chance our military could take over from the population.
Yeah.
It's impossible. All of this because our Second Amendment says that the people have the right to bear arms, which this moves me further to the center because I believe in this. I think that if that was made, the Second Amendment was made to protect us from our own government, we're doing it. Like that's a good point. We should have some sort of check for that.
Yeah.
Where I disagree with most people that believe in the Second Amendment is that I don't think crazy people should have guns. Like, I think there should be, like, and most people, I think, most Americans believe this. There should be some background checking. There should be something to say, don't do it. Where, like, my model for what I think is working is Switzerland, where everybody, when they become 18, if they're physically fit, they have to join the army. And then you do it for like 2 years and then you go home, but you're still in the army just in case. But you might have a rocket launcher that you're trained on, and you have that. I don't care if people in this country have a tank, but they should be able to show that they know how to work it, and they're not.
Yeah, but that doesn't work either. I mean, like, this could totally go down a different rabbit hole, because what you just said, what blows all of that up is you are thinking that all of those people are in a good mental state.
Yeah, but I think they check that. I think those guys have to pass.
Yeah, but Reese, how many
something.
Air base shootings, military base shootings, how many people come back with PTSD? I mean, these are trained people. So you could say,
it's true.
Hey, this guy is trained. He knows all this stuff inside and out. He can take his gun apart, put it back together with his eyes closed. But if he's triggered by something down the road, in his 20s, he was like this amazing military vet. Then he goes home, he's in insurance, and something in his head goes awry. Bipolar unlocks, or depression unlocks, or something within his brain genetically unlocks at a later age. Again, it's the person. The past, it doesn't really matter. And that's the issue, I think, is
I'm with
we
you, dude.
don't have. So like in the state of Michigan, and I'm sure it's in most states. So back in the 90s in the state of Michigan, we had a governor who, because of budget cuts and the way that things were, he eliminated all state-run mental facilities.
We also had a president who did this. His name was Ronald Reagan.
Okay. So we had Governor Engler here in Michigan who shut down all the state-run mental facilities here. And so what happens is now, unless you have money to privately put your son or daughter into a mental institute, there's nowhere for these people to go.
You don't have any state mental institutions at all?
No.
There's not like a this guy needs to be in it. He's biting people.
So what happens is, if we come across somebody who is mentally unstable, we can do what it's called a commitment. So we take them to the hospital. They're committed, where they're under observation for 48 hours. They try and figure out like what's wrong with them. If it finds out that they need long-term care, they send them to another facility. But there's time limits. There's time limits that they can be there. The state just can't say you're locked up forever because you're schizophrenic. Like they can't do that. So they would send them to the next facility where it might be like a 30-day treatment center, and then they try and get the medication right, and then they send them right back out.
That's where I work.
But like the thing with that is another thing. So you have these issues. So you have those people who have serious mental health issues, that if you have mental health issues, you're probably not staying in the greatest places. So those people tend to be in more urban, rundown, janky areas. Those are also areas where weapons are readily available. Stolen weapons are easy to find. So if one of them gets a weapon, they're getting it without the background checks and stuff like that. They're getting it illegally. Then if you go on the flip and you get somebody who has never had police contact, they've never gone through something that would put them on somebody's radar or in someone's database.
Yeah.
If somebody is suffering, they've suffered their whole life with clinical depression, but they've never sought treatment for it. Maybe they self-medicated. Maybe it's something that unlocked after a big event in their life, their mid-20s. Something got them where their bipolar kicked in and it sent them down a bad path. If that person wants to go buy a gun, they have no record that shows that this mental health was ever a thing.
Right.
So those are the issues that, like, when you do these background checks and stuff like that, the Constitution of the United States, the same thing that everybody says, we have these rights. We have these rights as a human being living in the United States, that people can't tread upon these rights.
Right.
So that's what happens is you can't tell somebody it's not against the law to be crazy. Like, unfortunately, that's something that is said all the time. It's not against the law to be crazy. It's not against the law to be weird. So we can't lock people up for those reasons. Uh-oh, did I lose you? Did I lose you, buddy? I think I lost you. Uh-oh. Reese, are you there? Are you there?
Joey Reese, Billy Boot Shop.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we had, again, a couple of technical difficulties. I think the last time we finished, I believe we were talking about how Reese is not a very good left-wing person. And we were also talking about guns and the teacher that, wanted an AK. It was all sorts of weird stuff. So we're going to try and jump back into it, bring it to an end, you guys, and leave you with all these thoughtful nuggets.
Nuggets of thought.
It sounds like you are over there eating potato chips. Are you eating potato chips?
I'm not. I ate something. Fries. I made curly fries from some bag.
That was just your dinner,
fridge.
curly fries.
And there was 4 chicken wings.
You know what my dinner was? Heidi went and got we did this game last night. She's been feeling under the weather. So last night, sitting on the couch, nowhere close to even bringing in the new year. And we just decided, turn off the TV, and we just played, the 3 favorites game. So it's what's your 3 favorite fruit candy? What's your 3 favorite chocolate candy? What's your 3?
Oh.
So we kind of went through it. And we were talking, what's your 3 favorite, foods? And so, a couple of mine that I had picked, she went and picked up for dinner tonight. So while we were up here podcasting, she went and picked up Thai. Mm-hmm. She went and got Thai, got me what I like and how I like it. And then she also picked up a Detroit-style pizza from a place up here called Jets. So there's Jets Pizza, there's Thai. She got her Thai super hot. She says she likes to eat her Thai food in pain.
That's good if you're sick.
Yeah. So it cleaned out her sinuses and then her colon. So
those
she
are good
did
things.
Rush to the restroom from the hot Thai.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It is good when you're sick.
Yeah. So that was our little interruption trying to figure out why you're such a bad... I think this is what's going to happen with you. I think you're going to be like Dennis Miller, the political comedian. Dennis Miller was like a left-wing Democrat and got to the point where he kept saying, I'm a Democrat, but I don't like how we do this. I'm a Democrat, but they should do this different. I'm a Democrat, but we should do that different. And then he realized he was a Republican.
I won't ever get to that point. I do feel like the things that the Democrats get in trouble for, they could fix easily. What I don't understand is like why Republicans feel threatened by Democrats.
I don't think they do.
No, I do. I like when I talk to people here, they're just like super offended. It's like super threatened, but like they're not
But that's on
together.
both sides.
Like they're just like, oh, they rigged the election. They did all this stuff. And like, do you think if we had it together enough to rig the election, like to do that, we'd put Joe Biden in?
Well,
Like,
Reese,
is that the pick we do?
But I think you're kind of saying, I think what you're saying is kind of like what I'm talking about. I think most people don't fit themselves really into a box. I don't fit
This
myself
is
in a
actually
Republican
true.
box. I don't fit myself into Democrat.
I don't.
I
either.
just vote on what I believe on that issue. And I think for the majority of the people from over the last, 10 years of presidents and the way things have gone and social media and trolling and all this stuff, I really do think that people are the true sheep that can't think for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that's on the news, if they get their news from Fox News, that's what they 1,000% believe.
Yeah.
And if they get their news from CNN, that's 1,000% what they believe. And then I think everybody else is just, they realize Fox News lies, CNN lies, or they bend the truth, or they do that type of stuff. I think most
they're
people just don't.
trying to embellish things to sell advertising dollars.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So back to the main point that I got away from was I don't think Republicans are threatened by Democrats any more than Democrats are threatened by Republicans.
I don't think actually. I just think the feeling is out there. I think the country is like they feel the polarization, which isn't real. I think if you know
Definitely
people,
think that. Like, I
if you
definitely
know
think there's
people-
like this huge political
Yeah.
divide that's awful.
yeah. I mean, like, do you want me to talk about what's wrong with the Democratic Party? I'm also like I'm a registered Democrat, but I'm offended by that. It bothers me. I don't.
Yeah.
I just did it because I'm like, well, I want to vote in the primary, I guess. But like, they're dumb. They're they're not put together enough. Let's just clear this to rig any election. They're not. Like, they can't even. They can't. It's like the most disorganized, just touchy-feely type thing where they're just like more important than the issues or getting an agenda on is inclusivity.
Yeah.
I've had some Don Q. That's the most important thing. Like, not just like, hey, what's important is making sure that kids don't get shot in schools. More important than that to Democrats is being like, do we have a gay Muslim? Let's find that one person and make them a senator. Like,
But it's the same thing on the other side of the aisle. There's Republicans that are like, do we have a black female that's Republican? And you know what I mean? So it's both sides of the aisle trying to find these like woke, instead of just being like, hey, this African American female is fantastic. This lesbian Muslim is amazing.
should be the next senator from the state of Utah, whatever.
Yeah,
like
'cause they're
that should
great.
be based on character.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. But then everybody tries to prop them up like, hey, no, we're actually a woke party because we have this and we have that. Dude, just let it be based on merit. If they're
Yeah.
good, they're good. Like, that's it.
Now,
It's just so bizarre.
well, there's part of me that is like, hey, we gotta make it even, and by doing all this woke stuff all the time, it will eventually happen. Like, to the point where we're just like, I don't care. So, what was I listening to the other day. It was this comedian, Wyatt Cenac, and he was talking about Martin Luther King Day and how we have not arrived at Martin Luther King's dream until we start treating Martin Luther King Day like we do St. Patrick's Day. Like,
there is some truth to that.
It is a funny bit, but like Martin Luther King Day, we're pretty much like afraid of, or it is sacred. And St. Patrick's Day, we're just like, hey, all of these Irish stereotypes, we just start, everybody's just like, yeah, let's get drunk and kiss each other. And it's like, yeah, nothing
everyone's
to do with being
Irish today.
Yeah. He's like, let's make it like that, which is a good point. Like it would be great to be that way on Martin Luther King Day. Just like it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal, and that's what is bothersome. I think all of this woke culture is just people feeling that tension and trying to get towards it. However, going back to me having issues with the Democratic Party, I think they err way too much on that side, where they lose the ability to like function as a party. Like they can't. There's so much effort put on trying to be inclusive and trying to be woke that they're ignoring, like, hey, kids are getting shot in schools. Can we focus on that? Like, I don't care who my state representative is, who my governor is, or whatever. Like, what are we doing about kids dying in schools? That is a thing for everybody. And like, so on the flip side of that, the Republican, like the response to that seems to me to be corporate led. It seems to be like I know Republicans, and they're like, no. I don't want kids to die in school either. But I don't want what happens when you legislate that. I don't want people taking my guns. Which seems to be like this argument that gets put out there, like this paper tiger thing, where there's like, it has to be all or nothing.
Right.
Like
exactly.
You can't figure out if somebody is crazy before you give them a gun, because that means the government's going to take all your guns. Like that's not what anybody wants. They did a poll, and there's less than 10% of the population in this country that wants all guns to be taken away. So that's me. I'm far left. Like I consider myself a socialist. I don't want guns to be taken away. It's just not feasible. Like what you're saying, there's guns everywhere. You can't take them away from all the criminals. You can't make it safe unless cops have guns. On the same thing, like I also believe in the Second Amendment in that way. Like the government could take over the country. There could be a military coup unless we all have guns. Like there needs to be that. But I just don't want crazy people to have guns. I want people to be
Reese,
more responsible.
do you really think you're a socialist?
Yeah. Like
we charge for this podcast.
Yeah, so I'm not a communist. I believe that people should have the right to property. But I think that some things should be controlled by the government, because the government, which is like the worst case scenario. It would be better if we were all altruistic and everybody cared about each other, but we don't. We care about ourselves. So what works in this world is democracy. And if you have a government that says like, hey, you can't charge that much for a knee replacement. Everybody who is, has worked really hard their whole life and paid into this, they should be able to get new knees and feel good about it and not pay $100,000 to get their knees replaced. It costs this much. It costs like we have this huge thing in this country with this medical tourism where people will like fly to India to get a knee replaced for $7,000. They'll pay $1,000 each way because here with their insurance, the deductible is more, or they can't afford insurance and they are just like, I can't walk. I need to get my knee replaced. So this happens. And I don't think that is good. That is not the hallmark of a good society.
I'd agree with you there.
We have like an infant death mortality rate that is higher than most third world countries. Okay, that's a lie. I'm saying it is higher than all other first world countries, and we are the richest empire in the history of humanity. So that should not be. Like, what are we doing wrong? It's this kind of system we have with healthcare where it's just to get profit for insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies, hospital chains. It's just built off of profit. And it's not, I'm not saying it's negative or evil. It's money, which is, as the book of Matthew says, it is at the root of all evil. We have to fix that. Like as Christians 100 years ago, 200 years ago, all of the hospitals were founded by Christianity. We were the nurses and the hospitals and the doctors. We took care of the sick and the wounded, and now it is for profit. It is owned by people that, they have shareholders, and if they don't turn a profit, they get fired. It's illegal for them. They have corporate bylaws. We have to fix that. There's where I'm a socialist. That I believe in the police department. Like, I'm a socialist. I think there should be a police department. I think police should not, in any major metropolitan area that is close to where you live, Joe, make $13 an hour. Like, you should be making 5 times that as a police officer. Anyone that gets shot at or has the potential for that for a living should be making at least $40 an hour. That's just ridiculous. Like, why? Why don't we pay teachers more? Why aren't our classes smaller? Why aren't we building our future? Why do we fund our schools out of property tax? It's just all these things that don't make sense. We as a democracy could do better if we treated all of ourselves equally and we provided all these things. Granted, the government is going to spend stupid money and people are going to be lazy and not work for it. This is the problem I have with the Democratic Party is they waste money, like left and right. Like this is why I think they're not very organized. If just one person was like, hey, here's our new spin, stop wasting money. Stop spending money on stupid projects, on stupid fluffy things that don't benefit anyone but just the guy that voted for it. They don't do that. They're just like, what we need is this, more inclusivity, more of this. We need to make this This guy's looking left out. Let's make him feel more included. Let's do this. I'm for programs that do that. But your government program, like when you're battling for the lives of those people, you can't exist like that. You cannot support, you cannot support gay rights by just being like, let's find a gay Muslim to support this. Unless that guy is the best speaker or the best at organizing or the best at being a politician, period. He's like doing more damage than he is good. That's what I don't like about the Democrats. We have talked about politics so much, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, we always say we're like, oh, let's not talk politics on this show. But for whatever reason we got into it today. Yikesters.
No,
Let me
on
take
the
a
same
swig.
side, I want a gay Muslim president. Like, I want that. But not because he's gay and Muslim, but because he's the best. Or she. I want a gay Muslim transsexual president. Because they're the best. Because I want kids who are gay, Muslim, and transsexual to have an idol and be like, that is the best person. Here's where I'm going to lose some losers is I love Barack Obama because he's just like, he's such a quality, great person. He's such an amazing speaker. He was good, and he could have come in and done all the things that I think Black America felt he should have done to kind of even things out. And he just decided to be himself and not have to fight for, like, this is balance. Like, Black people have been mistreated for so long, and there's so much wrong with our country, and we need to get back. I have friends that felt that way, and he just was himself. He didn't push the agenda any more than it needed to be. He just was like, he's like a pretty centrist dude. Like, if he didn't look like he did, he'd be Ronald Reagan. Just like a good speaker, really centrist kind of guy. I love that about him. I think he was such a cool guy. I don't know. I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, see, I don't know. Again, I don't like talking politics on here because I'm not.
We have killed it, man. We have talked about so much politics.
Yeah, because I'm not into politics, and I don't know the ins and outs of it. And I don't know if this is an ignorant saying, but like, I don't need my president to be my pastor. I don't need my president to win a popularity contest. Mm-hmm. I want whoever is the president to just run this country the way it should be run. Uh-huh. And to where the most people can succeed, and to where, to run it correctly and not run it into the ground, and to make sure people are safe, and to make sure that the sick can get healthy, to make sure that the poor can get a couple extra dollars. But I'm not looking for some guy with like an amazing personality. I could care less if somebody comes in that is an extreme introvert, does not speak well, does not any of that, but gets in the office, handles business, and makes the country good. Like, I don't look to my president as my moral compass. I don't look to my president as anything more than, you just run the country. That's your job. I'm going to go do my job over here. So, like, when it comes to politics, I don't get into it because it breaks my heart with just all the stuff that people fight for, and different parts of the country, you fight for different things. I had the talk with Leonore a few years ago, and we were just talking about different things that's like happening in Colorado and things in Michigan, and it's just complete opposite things that are going on with the populations, and at the time, I forget what was on ballots and stuff like that, but I'm talking to Leonore about, the different peoples and the different populations of people, and then in Michigan, what was going on at Michigan at the time. Well, just the way the cards fell, or the cookie crumbled, or whatever you want to say, it meant that I voted one way and she had to vote the other way. So that just made it where it was like, I'm voting about what's in my backyard, she's voting about what's going on in her backyard, but because of that, I'm voting one party, she's voting another party. And just by sheer geography, it made it so that my concerns fell on one side and hers fell on the other. So I don't know. I just don't get into it. It's really tough knowing what's for the casual person that reads casually about politics, I don't believe everything on Fox News, and I don't disbelieve everything on Fox News. I don't believe everything on CNN, and I don't disbelieve everything on CNN. For about the last year, all my news I get from the BBC because I think they're the most.
That's fair.
They just report on what's going on in the U.S. And there's not these opinion pieces. There's not any of that.
That is socialism, though. Just to be fair.
I got to read up on that because I to tell you the truth,
it's government funded. So we have PBS.
Oh, the BBC?
Yeah, we have PBS and NPR, but they only get 10% of their funding from the government. The rest is from donors and doing those pledge drives.
Boners.
Yeah, from boners.
Every time someone gets a boner, they give them 10 cents.
Man, I've given a lot of money to those people.
I gave them $7 today. Yeah.
Here's what I think we should do.
Apologize to everyone for all the politics talk.
Yeah. No, this is good, Joe. I mean, it sucks talking about it because it causes tension. But I think the other thing is that, I have fallen into this where I get mad at people who lean right until I think about people I know, that are Republicans, or they vote Republican, or they're to the right. Same with, it's real easy for me to be like, oh, cops. I grew up with this. This is how my dad talked about cops. He hated police. Still does. Just bad-mouthing them. And I didn't know any policemen growing up. And now I know you and a few other people that are former or current police. And my interactions with police are different than when I was a kid. It's changed me. Same thing is when I think about Republicans or people that voted for Trump, I also have to think about my in-laws, and how much I loved my father-in-law, how much I love my mother-in-law. They're wonderful, wonderful people, and just the salt of the earth. I can't say negative things about them, so it's hard to just blanket, just be like,
correct, yeah.
These dipshits that voted for Trump, I blank, 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 because those dipshits I love. And there's a reason they voted for Donald Trump. And if I try and understand that, which I do, I don't want to say I understand it, but I do try. And I appreciate it. I get it. I need that. I need more cops in my life. And I need more of talks like this. So what I think we possibly should talk about is getting our Patreons, if they want to write in questions hey, I want to ask Joe this because I'm curious. I'm left-leaning or I'm right-leaning. I want to ask Reese what he thinks about abortion or this. Do you think that would make a good episode?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I absolutely do. I mean, we always, we used to do that. We used to get, listener questions and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so I definitely think stuff like this because, your stance, as far as socialism and stuff like that, and then maybe me and my job, people have questions. Maybe that would be a good thing. I feel like right now I'd be uncomfortable with it. I'd be uncomfortable, but maybe being uncomfortable is always the first step to getting comfortable.
Well, you can always see the questions and be like, "Nah, we're not doing this."
Yeah, true. We could do that. We'll just answer the softballs, just the toss-ups.
So Patreons, you can write us through the Patreon app, which Joe checks regularly, and I get
Not Patreon.
Oh,
I can't get onto
because
Patreon.
I thought you were. Shit,
can't-
dude! I'm just letting all those comments go into the Ethernet because I'm
Yeah,
not.
because whenever you tell me, so what happens is when I log in, it says that it needs to confirm, so it's sent an email to the account for you to verify. Well, that's your email address.
What?
Yeah, so like if I try and log on to Patreon, it says need to verify access. And then it says we've
Fix this
sent an
while we're
email.
on. We gotta fix this right now, dude. While we're on the phone.
Yeah.
Patreon. Okay. It's reese.roper@aol.com.
Yeah, so if you go to reese.roper@aol.com, I'm sure over the last 3 months, there's probably 2 or 3 emails that you've received saying confirm that so-and-so can log in.
Messages? Is it in messages? Messages. These are just people. This is what I thought you were reading.
No. I haven't read any of those.
I have. There's got to be one where I can put you. We could have been mastering it. I see that. We could be mastering this. Ooh. We are settings. Pickle and Boot Shop. Creator account. Team. Oh. You have to upgrade to premium to have multiple teammates. This is the problem. We got to upgrade to pro. We have light. Light is 5%. Right? Everything light. Membership tiers. What is this?
Yeah, we don't have to upgrade.
What? Let's do it, though. Let's just see how much it costs. Light, which they spell Lite. Name a Patreon page. This might be what we have now. What about Joe? Can you let Joe in? No. Let's try the other one. Pro. Pro sounds good.
Yeah, for just $250 a year.
This looks the same though, except it has a picture of our cover photo. Nope. Come on. You know what help us if I could read. Special offers promo tool, creator-led workshops, unlimited app integrations. I think we just need light.
All right. Well, let's bring this to an end.
Yeah. Hey guys. We're going to figure it out so Joe can participate, and also I'm back online. I'm ready to work.
He's ready to go. You've heard it, guys. Reese is back. He's refreshed. He's refocused. He's inebriated.
I'm inebriated.
And he's ready to rock and roll, baby.
If I go to the grocery store and you see me, I need a hug because I will start crying.
So do it. You guys
Do it.
Get a hold of Reese. Let him know how much you love him. Give him a big old hug. And hopefully, what's it called? Patreon people, Pickle Peeps. Hopefully we're starting to get back on track here and get you the content that you've been paying for. Again, we're so sorry. But as you've heard, we've had a lot of things going on. We thank you so much for your patience, your love, all that stuff. And then again, I'll be checking Instagram. I've been away, again, literally too busy to check Instagram and Facebook. So start that stuff up again as things die down. My job, my career is still extremely busy, but it's starting to get to the point where I can kind of check my phone for a minute here or there and make sure if there's any messages I can answer. But that's about it, I think, man. I think we've done about 2 hours here. Reese, you have anything else you want to add?
Thanks, you guys, for all your prayers for me. And Patreons, next week we will read your names aloud.
Boom.
And you'll be victorious.
Victorious.
Because we love you, and you are wonderful to us, and thanks for sticking in there.
There you go. Thanks for sticking it in there. Thanks, guys. We'll see you. Bye.